CHGO White Sox pregame show coming to you live from Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him at Ectorall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow this show at CHGO_White Sox. Producing our show today is Sarah.
Hello.
Do you root for the Sox or Cubs? Because you're a Cubs fan producing a Sox show. Like, for this game specifically.
I'll root for the Cubs.
Okay, all right. Hey, it's fine. I just want the truth.
I don't want people coming at me.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, be honest.
Hey, but I support the Sox. I don't hate the Sox. I'm not one of those Cubs people.
No, and what we know from you is whenever you're producing the show, you're always hoping for a White Sox win. And
I want them to be good.
We typically make fun of you for it.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
I thought they were going to win it yesterday.
Yeah, no. Herb, what happened?
They're bad.
No. Same shit, different day?
I mean, literally, when they went up 5-0, I'm looking at Cody. He's like contemplating life. He's like, why do I root for this team?
Typical
I hate
Cody.
the Cubs. The Cubs are the worst team of all time. I am beside myself. The only reason why I'm watching this team is because I get paid to watch this team, etc., etc. I'm like, really? You're playing a team that won 15 out of 60 games yesterday. Now it's 15 out of 61 games. And you really are down in the dumps that they're losing to the White Sox. I get it. It's a sad thing when you are losing to the White Sox. But I was also reminded of last year when we're sitting in guaranteed rate field when the White Sox took a 7-2 lead, I believe it was, early in the game. And I looked at him and I was like, Cody, the Cubs are going to win this game. And literally, I tweeted out, it is a great time to bet Cubs money line right now.
Did you?
I did not.
Oh.
I don't bet that much anymore because I've been losing a lot. So as anything, I don't. I have some restraint, and when I feel good about something, I'll get into it. But I was just giving the people a little money tip as they did get into some of that money line bets. I saw a lot of people took my advice and got some money because the Cubs did come out and prevail because I know the White Sox are bad. Right when the starting pitcher went out, which I was surprised that Flexen came back after the rain delay, I was like, here it is. 30 or 40 minutes on the shelf for Chris Flexen, immediately gave up a run. Then the bullpen gave up a lot more.
Yeah, well, and two, the deploying of the bullpen was interesting.
Very much so.
You got a 5-run lead, and you throw out Justin Anderson. Didn't stop the bleeding. So, hey, maybe we go to somebody who's a little bit better. Oh, Tanner Banks. And then we go to John Brebbia, and then a rookie.
Yeah.
So I know
in the eighth inning. Yeah.
I know Michael Kopech's been inconsistent, but what I know about baseball is if the home team has the lead after the 8th inning or after the top of the 9th inning, then they don't play the bottom of the inning.
Correct.
So they didn't even get a chance to use Michael Kopech in the bottom of the 9th inning. I don't know. It was a very frustrating game to watch outside of the euphoria I felt when Luis Robert Jr. hit a return home run.
Ooh, that was great. But, yeah, I think it was 2-3-4 for the Cubs in that bottom of the 8th inning there. So you would think you would want your most successful, highest leverage pitcher out there. Yeah, Jordan Lucher's had a pretty good year. But like you said, he's a rookie. And going against the Cubs, it's a tough game where they've just come back from 5-0 deficit. You just get the home run from Luis Robert. All right, you want to shut down that inning. And if you got to worry about the 9th inning, when the 9th inning comes. But right now, you got to get from that bottom of the 8th to the top of the 9th with the lead still intact, which the White Sox didn't do. So, yeah, I think that Pedro Grifol had a little bit of a bad game yesterday because he didn't put the right people in the right places to do the job correctly.
Well, and two, I don't know exactly if the White Sox knew what was going on with Dominic Fletcher, but the man went up to bat with a sprained AC joint and then made it to second base before they were like, hey, maybe we should pull you out of the game here.
Hey.
Interesting moves, and obviously the White Sox were boosted by the return of Luis Robert Jr., but to activate Luis Robert Jr. off of the rehab start, the White Sox had to add Tommy Pham due to an ankle sprain, and Dominic Fletcher due to a shoulder sprain to the IL. Zach DeLoach, your guy, got called up, and Duke Ellis got called up. Zach Remillard, also your guy, got DFA'd. Duke Ellis had a moment where he got on base, stole second, and then got picked off. What was your reaction there? Are you upset with Duke? Because, I mean, he did the first part, right?
Yeah. Firstly, and you're talking about the White Sox sent Dominic Fletcher up with an AC joint messed up. They sent Tommy Pham back out to center field or wherever he did in the bottom of that inning after he apparently twisted his ankle and lined up on the IL. But the Duke Ellis thing, that was dumb. It was really dumb at second base. Good job on stealing second. But your job is to steal bases. You're already in scoring position with premium speed. So either you're stealing third or you're not doing what you did. All that extra jockeying at second base, because multiple things happen. You're interfering with the batter you're right in his line of sight. So he's like looking at you and you're like, what the hell? Stop moving, rookie. You're confusing me and you're making me, not look at the ball and not focus on the ball. And then secondly, Nico Horner wasn't that far away from second base. So you got to be as far as he is away from the second base, and he was way farther. If you got all that speed, you don't need a huge lead. That's one of the things that base stealers tell you all the time. I don't need a big lead. I need a good jump. That's what I need. Big leads don't matter that much to me. I need a good jump, and I can't get a good jump if I have a huge lead, because then I'm worried about getting back. That's why they say that's a one-way lead, because you're always just thinking about getting back. You're not thinking about stealing. So, yeah, that's dumb by the rookie. I wish the White Sox were better and just said, hey, either going to steal and give him the steal sign on like the first pitch after he stole second, or tell him, hey, man, you have speed, but you're already in scoring position. All we need is a single right here, and we got this game tied up, and we go to the bottom of the ninth. But to get picked off at second base, it's one of the dumbest things in the world.
It is pretty stupid, and it's a brutal look for Duke Ellis. But, I mean, the guy, I think, funnily enough, when he was called into Sergio Santos's apartment, not even office, because he was at, I think, dinner, he said, he thought he was going to be getting cut and not called up to Major League Baseball. So there's the state of the Chicago White Sox, is these guys think that they're getting cut. And maybe that's just because Birmingham's too good. Yeah. But, yeah, no, he thought he was either getting sent down to Winston or maybe even Kannapolis, or just not even going to be a professional baseball player anymore. And there he is on second base, getting his ass thrown out.
And he's a little long in the tooth, too. He's not like a 22-year-old rookie. He's like 25, 26 years old, so he should know better. He played at the University of Texas, so I'm sure the people down there, I don't know if he played under Augie Garrido or not, but he should have known that, fundamentally, that you should not be as far off as the second baseman is, and you shouldn't be doing all that jockeying. I don't care if you're a rookie and it's your first game up. These things are when you're taught in Little League, Babe Ruth League, so it's just a bad thing, and it's just White Sox. And then I hear Pedro's explanation. He didn't really come down on the kid. Come down on him. This is your thing. You come down on rookies. That was a huge, egregious mistake that nobody believed that he would do. And when he got thrown out, I was like, White Sox.
You bring up 20-year-olds from the University of Texas. I mean, we have one that we know of, and, I mean, he's not the brightest.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Our man, 50 grand, Joey Spathis.
Wow, you're throwing my man down in front of that bus.
Hook him, Joe. Hook him. All right. You know what, though? I thought it was really cool, too, just learning about Duke Ellis. Did you know that he does have a favorite player, and he actually played for the White Sox? Do you know Duke Ellis' favorite player?
Let's see. Another Texas guy.
No, this guy's from Missouri.
Missouri. Did Kyle Gibson or Max Scherzer?
Ye old Flash, ye old Comet, Maurice Archdeacon of the 1924 White Sox. That's his favorite baseball player of all time.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't. But he does want to honor the 1924's longest winning streak in an entire season. The 1924 White Sox lost 13 straight games. If the White Sox lose tonight, they will make it 13 straight. We don't have to get into will they or won't they, because we're going to get into it in a second. Yeah. But the manager at the helm of this ship is Pedro Grifol, and Ken Rosenthal wrote today in The Athletic that it's getting close to firing time or quitting time for Pedro Grifol. Pedro was asked about the story today, and he said, and this is from our own Vinny Duber, quote, "I don't get the focus on that stuff. It's part of the job. We're not winning. So when you're not winning, speculation gets higher and higher. It's a part of what we do. We get signed up to win baseball games. And when you don't, there's always a possibility of change being made." I didn't read the article. I understand the question. I understand the stories. I get it all. I understand the questions, but my answer is always going to be the same. I don't make those decisions, and I'm certainly not going to worry about it. My concern is making sure that the team is ready to play tonight. Making adjustments from yesterday. and trying to see if we can snap this losing streak. That's no fun and extremely painful. We've lost some painful games, but I'm certainly not going to make this about me and my future here. I'm not going to decide this anyways. I don't make those decisions, which, I mean, is a pretty normal answer from Pedro Grifol. Nothing too much to look into it outside of my concern is making sure that the team is ready to play tonight, making adjustments from yesterday, and trying to see if we could snap this losing streak that's no fun and extremely painful. This is the same guy that got all pissy and upset and calling his team fucking flat about the lack of adjustments that they made against Kyle Bradish. And let's see, that was last Sunday?
Yeah.
And this is Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that's been, probably about, 10 days?
10 days, yeah.
Have they won a game since that?
I haven't.
They haven't won a game. A single game?
Not one.
A single game? They haven't won a single game since the manager called them fucking flat?
No, if they stop games after the 5th inning, they've won a couple of those.
So I don't think that you are doing your job, Pedro. So I think if anyone made the decision to fire you, I don't think it would be out of the blue. I don't think it would be unwarranted. The issue is Joe Cowley can't be right. And I think Jim Margolis is correct about that, is Jerry Reinsdorf will take all the pain and suffering that Pedro Grifol brings and just let him, A, not pay him $1.5 million to stop managing this team, and B, let Joe Cowley be right. So, I mean, you could ask Pedro all these questions you want. We could write all the articles we want, but this man is taking him to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. He's sticking with his ship.
Yeah, and this is the problem, though. And I know people are out there. What would be the difference? He has gotten these guys who are not as good as anybody. Connie Mack wouldn't win with these guys. The difference is you show accountability. You show that you care still as your general manager, Chris Getz. And I know that Chris doesn't make any decisions, which I wouldn't take a job that if I had supposed autonomy of picking all the players and firing the managers if I need to. I wouldn't take that job if my job wasn't secure to get Pedro to get off my team, because you didn't pick him as Chris Getz. That's not your manager. You still have your first manager in your hip pocket. So I understand that Jerry doesn't want to spend more money. It's a sunk cost. Pay him the money to go away. And I think White Sox fans, and more importantly, the players in the organization would say, okay, that's sad to see that man go because he was a good man, et cetera, whatever. But that's accountability. He didn't get the job done. And I don't care if they don't have the bullets to be a good team. They didn't expect a 15-46 team at 61 games, no matter what. And if they didn't expect that, somebody's got to pay. They can't fire all the players. There's 26 men on the roster, on the active roster. They can't fire them all. You can fire the coach, and you have one that's already, or the manager, and you already have one, the bench coach, Charlie Montoyo, who's already been a manager. Ugh. So it's an easy transition to go to him. Will it matter? No, it won't matter in wins and losses necessarily, but it'll be different strategies. See if Charlie Montoyo has some better post-game stuff and has better answers. And in that article with Ken Rosenthal, I read it all. There's a couple people that were pissed, and we saw that when that initial thing happened on Sunday of 2 weeks ago, that, hey, you're going against Kyle Bradish. It's not some crumb bum out there. That dude is good. He, finished 4th in Cy Young last year in the American League, and he's been pretty good this year. And to say they came out fucking flat was weird because of that, and also because of the team has been fucking flat the whole damn year. So yesterday they were fucking flat after the 5th inning until Luis Robert saved them after they gave up the 5-run lead and hit a mammoth 448 feet home run, because Luis Robert is Luis Robert, and that's the only thing you have to look forward to on this active roster.
And after that home run, they were fucking flat.
Always.
We're going to take a break in just a second. I had something else to say, but I forgot it. No, your point about him talking to the media.
Yes.
I don't really need to hear Charlie Montoyo talking to the media. I don't really care. I don't want to hear Pedro Grifol talking to the media. So let's get a little innovative. Our guy, Bill Veek, a shout out. Always being on the cutting edge, always looking for that next thing. And something that we haven't seen in Major League Baseball is a
little
speaker.
Person? Oh, I thought we were getting a little person.
Oh, boy. No. They did that once.
Bill Veek did that.
Yeah, Bill Veek did that once. Why don't we hire a Chicago comedian to just address the media after the game? And, he doesn't, he represents the White Sox, but it's a comedian. You got to take it tongue in cheek. He's probably going to say some goofy shit, but it's not the actual manager, right? It's just I can't think of an actual comedian right now. Maybe Pat McGann,
South Sider, my guy Joe Kilgallen, more of a North Sider.
Yeah, he's a Cubby guy. Yeah. Maybe Connor O'Malley. He's real fucking crazy. But why not hire a crazy person to just address the media? We don't need to hear from Pedro. We don't need to hear from Charlie Montoyo. I know where this team's going, to the bottom of the ocean, or the bottom of Lake Michigan. We don't need an autopsy. We know how they died. It's just like Marvin in Pulp Fiction. Shot him in the head.
I mean, shoot Marvin in the head.
Shot Marvin in the face. Let's take a break. We'll let you know about our friends over at Leinenkugel and Prize Picks, and then we will talk about tonight's game where Erick Fedde will hopefully stop the losing streak.
Nothing says summer than the beer I'm holding in my hand, Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. Or the beer that I have in my left hand, it is the Grapefruit Shandy, which is also delicious. I love those type of versions of beer. They say summer to me every time I drink it. But I know you're saying, hey, Herb, I'm already sold. You're preaching to the choir on Leinenkugel Summer Shandy because I have it every year. But what does Leinenkugel have to offer at other times when it's not summertime? And I'm glad that you asked. They have original lager, light lager, lakeside cherry, juicy peach, berry vice, Northwoods amber, dark lager, and of course, honey vice, which is made with real Wisconsin honey. So you know that's good. And if you've tried any of their beers, you know that Leinenkugels brings the flavor for every occasion that you're celebrating. For over 150 years, Leinenkugels has combined German brewing traditions with Wisconsin innovation. You don't just have to pick one. Leinenkugels' popular variety packs come with 4 favorites for you to try and enjoy. Flavor life's simple moments with Leinenkugels, the official craft beer of the Chicago White Sox. Go to Leine.com/CHGO to find delivery options near you. That's LEINIE.com/CHGO, or go to Leinenkugels pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. Leinenkugels, flavor the moment. Celebrate responsibly. The Jacob Leinenkugel Brewing Company, Chippewa Falls.
Yes, and it is a grapefruit beer. It's a grapefruit beer. You got the summer shandy beer, which is like a lemonade beer, and then you also got a berry weiss, which, if you couldn't tell, it's berries. There you go. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Prize Picks. It's America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It's the most fun and exciting way to get on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. So with the crosstown game coming up, go download the Prize Picks app and try out the fun for yourself. You just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. It is very easy to get a submission entered. You can get a submission entered in less than 60 seconds. And with the NBA Finals around, the finals mean more on Prize Picks, and so do the star players. You get boosted payouts on select basketball stars that you won't be able to find elsewhere. And with baseball season going around, like we're talking about today, you can add your favorite players from the diamond to your Prize Pick lineups, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs. Take your pick of more than or less than and add them to your Prize Picks lineup today. And there's always action on Prize Pick. This is the perfect time to try out something new as basketball is winding down. So make sure to try out esports this month, because for every Wednesday and Saturday in June, Wednesday today, if your lineup doesn't win, you'll get your entry fee back. So choose from Counter-Strike 2, Call of Duty, League of Legends, and more. I am going to go with a White Sox-centric Prize Pick entry today, and one of them isn't a White Sox, but he still wears a White Sox hat in his player PNG. Dylan Cease against the Los Angeles Angels. I will take more than 7 strikeouts for Dylan. And then on the second leg, Erick Fedde, more than 17 pitching outs. I don't think we're going to get to the 3.5 strikeouts because the Cubs don't like to strike out.
No.
But they're bad, and they're going to hit weak balls and ground out a ton. Download the app.
I told that to Sarah before the game.
There you go. Download the app today and use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Herb, why did you tell that to Sarah before the game? The wind is blowing out, so you think Erick Fedde with his 3.12 ERA?
Chicago. He is very Chicago.
With his 3.12 ERA, you think he'll be able to shut down the Chicago Cubbies?
Yeah, I think he has a ground ball pitcher traditionally. When he was in last year in Korea, he was like 60% ground balls, and so I haven't looked it up this year, but I assume he's still a ground ball guy because he hasn't been striking out people.
Is that you asking me to look at
I
this?
am asking you to look at that, but I assume since he's been pitching so well this year that his ground ball rate is probably at the 50 to 60% range this year. So I think the Cubsies will be beating that ball into the ground, especially against his splitter and other pitches like his sweeper and etc.
Man, you weren't even giving him the respect he deserves.
Was he 60?
70%.
No way.
No. 70% in KBO.
Oh, about to say, I'm like, this
bad.
year, no way.
No. 47.5%, which actually is not even close to his career. 49.7 in 2021, 54.2% in 2020, 51% in 2019. 53.1% in 2018 and 61.7%. So he could actually go a little bit higher, but I don't think his Ks have ever been this high. And that's the thing too, is he can get good ground balls, and now he can actually locate and pitch to righties and lefties. It's not just a guy that can go out there and get righties out. Lefties aren't going to eat him up and tear him up. He now has that cutter to go inside to lefties. He has that splitter that takes out the floor against lefties. And that sweeper has been phenomenal against righties. So, I mean, he's been great to watch. He's just a true pitcher, too. Yes. So if you want to watch some good old pitching tonight, maybe Jamison Tyone will be able to match him. He's been pretty good this year.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's not Kyle Hendricks versus Erick Fedde, but you got some capital P pitchers on the mound.
Please, Jesus, bring Kyle Hendricks into the game. The White Sox love Kyle Hendricks at Wrigley Field. Like, remember that, what was that game where no one was at the stadium and Jose Abreu hit like 17 home runs and we were just crushing Kyle Hendricks. Love that Kyle Hendricks pitching.
I want to ask you this question. I want to know if you know. Who is the all-time leader in crosstown home runs?
All right, let me think about this real quick. I would say somebody that just played a lot of those games. It is
the player that leads the series in plate appearances.
I would say then it would be Frank Thomas.
No. So sorry. I mean, when did Frank Thomas leave?
In 2005.
So 97 to 2005, didn't have that much of a run. Who is a guy that maybe has been there for a very long time and lasted a long time? Maybe his whole career was pretty much just...
Was it Paulie the K?
It was Paul Konerko. 20 home runs in his career in the Crosstown Series, over 287 at-bats. He's got 20. Do you know who 2 is? It's a Cubby.
I would say Aramis Ramirez.
Aramis Ramirez has 13.
Killed us. That son of a bitch.
Sammy has 12. So
him.
There's your top leaderboard for home runs. I wish we had a Paul Konerko, but Abreu has 12 as well. And I don't know, the way that Luis Robert Jr. swings that bat at Wrigley Field, I didn't pick him for pick to click tonight because you only get 1 point, but I think Tyone might have some trouble.
Our participant, Lexi, picked Luis Robert Jr. And yesterday,
very smart.
Vinny picked Luis Robert Jr., got his 1 point because Luis was the winner yesterday. But there was, and you just brought his name up, there was a Sosa hit a home run yesterday.
That's true.
And so add it to the total. Sammy and Lenine are combined for 13.
There's his own person, damn it. Give Lenine that.
He murdered that ball.
He did murder that ball. And also,
crushed.
That was a meatball.
Yes, it was.
I mean, I'm a slider middle.
And that's the thing. I got to give the White Sox credit. In that 4th inning, they absolutely tanked Shota Imanaga. Like, this is the odds-on favorite for Rookie of the Year this year. I think he's 2nd or 3rd in Cy Young Award odds for the National League. And the White Sox are like, who? Bum, crack. Balls were getting rocketed. I think they had at least 7-8 hits off of him. And that's very surprising because... Yeah, Luis Robert Jr. is Luis Robert Jr., but he didn't really do any damage against Shota Imanaga. I think he got a hit. All the rest were just crushing him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Vaughn had a pretty nice game against Shota.
He's throwing fastball to Vaughn. I'm like, you don't need to throw a fastball to Andrew Vaughn to get him out. He can hit those. And it was both middle fastballs. I think one was on a 3-2 pitch. The other one was on a 3-1 pitch. And he's like, okay, cool. I'll take it to right center.
Well, hey, we put out this clip where I'm saying we got a non-tender Andrew Vaughn, and now I'm seeing him go, have these 2 singles from April to May. He's got the highest barrel rate jump, or one of the highest barrel rate jumps in Major League Baseball, from like 2% to 13. He's also hit the ball harder than ever before, but most of it's just like into the ground.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's Eloy Jimenez.
Yeah, it is. I would love to bet on Luis Robert Jr. to hit a home run, but at plus 330 for your best line, I'm not taking it. But it is great to see Luis Robert Jr. back. We're excited to talk about him on the post-game show. We'll obviously talk about Erick Fedde and his performance tonight. But maybe there's somebody we're not looking at. Is there somebody that you want to say will have a big game tonight? Is it going to be Michael Kopech coming out of the bullpen? Big game could also be negatively. I mean, who do you think is going to be the person that we end up talking about tonight?
Well, the guy that I selected as the click to pick tonight, I'm going with Paul DeJong. Paul DeJong has experience in that stadium. He leads the White Sox in home runs with his 9 already, and he's been hitting the ball with some authority as of late. And like that play late in the game where Christopher Morel hit the ball up the middle and he kind of couldn't get it out of his glove to have the force out, would have been the last out of that inning, and then the White Sox would have been out of that inning with the lead. That was kind of a blunder, even though he stopped the ball. But I think him with the bat and going against Jameson Taillon, which I don't think he has a lot of success with, which no White Sox has really a lot of experience and or success versus him. You know, the player with the most success and the most at-bats versus Jameson Taillon is?
The current White Sox?
Just think about the oldest one.
Oh, then Paul DeYoung.
No, Martin Maldonado.
Oh.
He's hitting.
Well, I thought you meant in the lineup.
Oh, sorry.
All-star Martin Maldonado.
Yes, he's going to be an all-star. I hope people do that. Please, just make a farce of this whole voting system. Do the, John Scott thing and vote him into the all-star game because he's hitting 0-72.
I've got my 10 votes in. Have you?
Oh, yeah, you get 10 a game.
Yeah, you're not doing your political diligence.
I'm just going to do him, no one else. Just single votes for Martin Maldonado. But he's out of the lineup. He hits him. He hits a home run. But Paul DeYoung has a home run versus Taillon this year or this career. So I'm going to go with him. I think he's going to have a big game, at least 2 hits. One of them is going to leave the yard.
Martin Maldonado is what, 0 for his last 29?
Yeah, it's bad. He's got 7 hits this year.
Hey,
which one was your favorite?
The one homer he has.
I don't even remember it.
It was against Tampa. Remember, it was a booming hit against Tampa. Let's see. So his last time that he got a hit was May 11th. And yeah, so he's gone 2 at-bats since. So he's got, 28. He's 0 for his last 28. So he's just 6 away from pulling a trump.
He's natural White Sox.
Yeah.
See what you did there.
All right, let's see that lineup real quick, and we'll get through it. Corey Julks is leading off for your Chicago White Sox, playing left field. Batting second, Nicky Lopez, who's my click to pick at second base. His whole family is Cub fans, so I'm like, you're going to get a ton of at-bats.
He didn't play yesterday.
Maybe he goes deep. Batting third, Luis Robert Jr. in center field. Batting fourth, Gavin Sheets at first base. Batting fifth, Andrew Vaughn at designated hitter. Batting sixth, Oscar Colas in right field.
Great at bat.
Excited to see him.
Great at bat in the 9th inning.
Hopefully we see a ton more from him today. Batting seventh, Paul DeYoung at shortstop. Batting eighth, Corey Lee at catcher. And batting ninth, the other Sosa, Lenine Sosa at third base. Erick Fedde is your starting pitcher. And the starting lineup for the Cubs, leading off Mike Tauchman at DH. Batting second, Seiya Suzuki in right field. Batting third, Cody Bellinger in center field. Batting fourth, Christopher Morel at third base. I heard they don't want him anymore.
No, they don't. He's a butcher at third.
We'll take him.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we will.
No, we won't.
Yeah, I'll take him.
No.
Yeah,
We're going to play him.
DH.
That works.
Batting fifth, Ian Happ in left field. Batting sixth, Nico Horner at second base. Batting seventh, Michael Busch at first base. Batting eighth, Dansby Swanson at shortstop. And rounding him out, everyone's so excited about it, number 9, Yan Gomes at catcher. Jameson Taillon is the starting pitcher. White Sox signed Michael Chavis to a minor league deal. You're saying you'd rather have Michael Chavis be our third baseman than Christopher Morel? Hey, let him be a butcher out there. I don't care. That kid, from what I've heard from Corey and Brendan, is on the precipice of breaking out. So let's have him break out on the White Sox. Come on. You want Michael Kopech? Michael Kopech for Christopher Morel. Who says no?
I say no.
Dumb. Give me Christopher Morel. I'm with Cody. I'm drinking whatever Cody's drinking.
Hey,
I guess
and yes,
Blue Moon.
Edward, I'm going to take his bat chug tonight if they don't win.
Oh?
I'm taking it.
You're going to chug a...
And it should be, if the White Sox win today, they get relegated to Studio B.
Can we do that?
Winner gets A? That actually is interesting. I like that. Winner gets A.
Winner gets A. What beer are you going to do? You got Lakeside Cherries, Summer Shandy, Berry Weiss, Grapefruit Shandy?
I think I'm going to do, it's summer. Of course I'm going to do Summer Shandy.
Is it not too acidic?
Oh, man, I'll murder any beer.
All right, he'll
it's
murder
easier
any
than
beer.
a Blue Moon.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like chugging a Linen is way easier than a Blue Moon.
Okay, I don't know. I've never chugged one versus the other. I would love to obviously see Cody versus Herb, because Herb would just down that shit in 4 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm not doing it out of his beer bat. I'm just doing it out of a real, regular glass.
You do it out of glass, not a cup.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want us to get like a pint glass?
Yeah, just a regular. We have pint glasses over there.
Yeah, we will bust out the CHGO White Sox ones. We got them.
Yeah.
So there we go. Thank you to Sarah, our producer. We appreciate her. Make sure you follow us at CHGO_White Sox. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at EctorWall23. He'll be chugging a beer after the White Sox get a victory. Thank you to everyone for hanging out with us. David, Edward, Alejandro. Hit that like button on your way out, and we will see you after the game. Go White Sox.
We all silly like the mayor.